Caitlyn is an amazing generational talent, and she's going to do amazing things.
Caitlyn Clark's rise in the WNBA has sparked mixed reactions, but one voice has stood out in unwavering support: Satou Sabally. While some veterans have hesitated to embrace Clark's meteoric rise, Sabally has praised her talent and character openly. This vocal admiration has intrigued fans and raised questions about what Sabally sees in Clark and how it might shape her own career.
What I hope for her is that she still knows that there's a community of women around her that want her to succeed. Not everyone wants someone to fail, because if you want someone to fail, like, you're jealous, you're not great if you want someone else to fail, because you can't prove your own greatness, in my opinion. I just hope she knows.
Sabally's praise goes beyond mere compliments. She has called out those who criticize Clark out of jealousy, emphasizing the importance of celebrating talent and greatness. In a league where competition often overshadows camaraderie, her public support is refreshing. Sabally's social media activity, including liking posts about Clark's Rookie of the Year win, has added fuel to speculation about a deeper connection, potentially hinting at a desire to join Clark on the Indiana Fever.
One of the most versatile players in the league. She has such soft touch on her jump shot.
At 26, Sabally has established herself as one of the WNBA's most versatile players. A former Most Improved Player award, she combines scoring, rebounding, and playmaking with leadership on and off the court. Known for her advocacy and support for teammates, Sabally's character adds weight to her endorsement of Clark. Her comments reflect empathy for the pressures Clark faces as a young star in the spotlight, with Sabally encouraging her to block out negativity and continue excelling.
I almost said she just feels good, physically, mentally, spiritually.
Satou Sabally has been a big reason for their increased level of play, averaging career highs in points, rebounds, and assists.
Fans have speculated whether Sabally's support for Clark could translate into a move to the Fever. As a free agent, Sabally would be a valuable addition to a team already stacked with young stars like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. Her skill set would complement Clark's dynamic playmaking, making the Fever a championship contender. Defensively, Sabally's versatility could strengthen the team's lineup, while her leadership would enhance team chemistry.
Because there were way too many Caitlyn fans, and I heard but, it just kudos, because it's amazing to see so many people in women's basketball jerseys. It's amazing to see the excitement and the joy that comes out of that.
If Sabally joins the Fever, it would signal Indiana's intent to build a legacy and could attract other top-tier players to the franchise. Whether she makes this move or not, her actions highlight a cultural shift in the WNBA, one that emphasizes unity and mutual respect among players. Sabally's advocacy for Clark goes beyond basketball, showing the importance of empowering others in a highly competitive environment. As the WNBA offseason unfolds, fans eagerly await Sabally's decision. Her next move could redefine team dynamics and further her legacy as a player who not only excels on the court, but uplifts others along the way. Whether Sabally and Clark join forces or not, their connection reflects the league's growing emphasis on collaboration and the
Wow. People are done with NaLyssa Smith. Traitor. Get her off the team. Adios amigos, as that guy said.
NaLyssa Smith, the star of the Indiana Fever, might actually be at the heart of the team's struggles. Hard to believe, right? You're probably thinking, wait, isn't she one of their top players? Well, get ready, because we're about to dig into what's really happening with the Fever. So, what's going on with NaLyssa Smith? And why is her future with the team suddenly uncertain? We're about to dive into all the details causing a stir in the Fever's locker room. But here's the twist. It's not what you'd expect. The reasons behind this surprising situation are going to catch you off guard.
I believe truly in my heart that connected teams are winning teams. And so people who fit, players who fit the culture of the Indiana Fever and where we are and where we're moving towards.
You know something's up when a new coach starts emphasizing culture and everyone embracing their roles, right? Well, that's exactly what happened when Stephanie White took over at the Indiana Fever. Let's go back to her first press conference. It was all smiles and big ambitions, but something didn't quite add up. White kept going on about building around a core group of 3, and it felt a bit off.
Caitlyn Clark, a generational player, and Aaliyah Boston, certainly when you think about back-to-back Rookie of the Years and what each of those players have done up until this point for their universities, in the game of basketball, for the women's basketball culture and community, it's unprecedented. And to be able to work with those guys and Kelsey Mitchell, who I think has weathered the storm of Indiana Fever basketball, and I felt like had the best year of her career, this year. And really, when you think about teams, you think about a core 3, right? You think about a big 3, and to be able to work with that big 3.
But wait a minute. Where does NaLyssa Smith fit into all of this? You'd expect a former number 2 overall pick to be front and center, right? But no, Smith's name didn't even come up. You might be thinking, maybe she just forgot to mention Smith. But let's be real, this is a player who was supposed to be the future of the franchise.
We want players that will fit in seamlessly with our core 3, which includes Kelsey Mitchell. We want players to fit in seamlessly with the core 3. We want players that will play a role and will embrace their role. And we want players that will fit in with the culture and the team.
The new coach kept emphasizing words like unity and commitment. Pretty subtle, right? It felt like she was sending a message without saying it outright. But White didn't stop there. She kept talking about what she wants in a player. She made a point of saying that success isn't just about individual talent. It's about a team's willingness to go to battle together every single day. Is it just me? Or does that sound like she's taking a direct shot at someone?
Because every single thing that she described wanting to build around Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlyn Clark, and Aaliyah Boston is the opposite of what NaLyssa Smith is.
It gets even more interesting. White started outlining what she wants in her ideal player, and it was almost as if she was reading off an anti-NaLyssa checklist. She mentioned wanting players who can embrace their roles and fit in seamlessly with the core 3. Ouch, that's got to sting if you're Smith, right? Well, it's becoming pretty clear that White's vision for the Fever's future doesn't seem to include Smith. She's focused on building a team of players who are fully committed to each other and the franchise's long-term goals. And let's be honest, with all the drama surrounding Smith lately, it's tough to see how she fits into that picture.
To another level. You've got incredibly talented players right here in Caitlyn and Aaliyah and Lexi, a team that was incredibly fun to watch, very tough to game plan against. So I'm glad I'm going to get to work with you guys,
Global platform now that Caitlyn will have coming into the professional ranks. So it's really a great time to be in basketball.
Caitlyn Clark is clearly a catalyst for a business that was, and let's be honest, Caitlyn to some degree financially saved the WNBA. It was hemorrhaging money for years.
Build, you have to scale, and ultimately expansion had always been on my list. But we didn't want to rush into it because we wanted new owners, like new ownership groups. Anyone who knows sports here knows it's a slog to be a sports owner.
What would you do to stop your most valuable asset from jumping ship to a competitor? Well, the WNBA just showed the world its answer to that question. Just hours ago, Caitlyn Clark, a name now synonymous with basketball excellence, made waves around the globe.
Hi, Caitlyn.
Hey, what's up, Caitlyn?
Yo, what's up, Caitlyn?
Hey, Caitlyn.
Hey, Caitlyn.
Famous for her incredible shooting range and intense competitiveness, Clark was anticipated to take the WNBA to new levels after being drafted by the Indiana Fever.
The Indiana Fever select Caitlyn Clark, University of Iowa.
However, recent rumors indicate that Clark may choose to skip the WNBA and head to Europe for the attractive contracts available there. In response, the WNBA is ready to make an unprecedented offer, an ownership stake in the Indiana Fever to ensure Caitlyn Clark stays in the U.S. Her arrival in the WNBA was poised to be a game changer.
Looked up how much the tickets are going for. I kind of cut that price in half.
Sites like SeatGeek are charging hundreds and thousands for a seat at Barber Hawkeye. She says the attention for the sport has grown a lot in the 15 years she's been a super fan.
After an outstanding college career in which she broke records and attracted millions of viewers, the WNBA viewed Clark as their golden ticket. Her talent for drawing crowds, boosting TV ratings, and increasing attendance to unprecedented levels made her the most anticipated rookie in recent WNBA history. The Indiana Fever, who had struggled with both attendance and performance, saw a significant rise in their numbers after drafting Clark.
And the Fever are going to be over 200,000 higher than the next highest total attendance in league history.
Many believe she has the potential to transform the franchise single-handedly. Her knack for attracting fans wasn't just a guess. During her college years, Clark's games ranked among the most viewed in women's basketball history. In her rookie season, attendance for the Indiana Fever nearly quadrupled. Her games turned into must-watch events, contributing to one of the WNBA's best seasons ever in terms of TV ratings. For the WNBA, Caitlyn Clark wasn't merely a player, she represented a bright future for the league.
Caitlyn Clark is clearly a catalyst for a business that was, and let's be honest, Caitlyn to some degree financially saved the WNBA. It was hemorrhaging money for years.
While her WNBA debut was thrilling, Caitlyn Clark was also being pursued by European teams with enticing offers. Europe, known for drawing top WNBA talent with its higher salaries and competitive environment, presented a significant temptation. Players like Breanna Stewart and Diana Taurasi have openly talked about how playing in Europe offered them financial stability.
Like there's that 4-year period where you need to grow as a person, but then
The rise of Caitlyn Clark has been nothing short of extraordinary. From bold predictions to jaw-dropping performances, her journey to the WNBA has been a roller coaster of challenges and triumphs. But what happens when one of her harshest critics, Gino Auriemma, is forced to rethink his words? Stick around, because this story is just getting started. It all started with controversy. On a popular sports show, legendary coach Gino Auriemma didn't hold back his thoughts about Caitlyn Clark and her fans. He questioned their grasp on reality, calling them delusional for thinking she could dominate the WNBA.
The delusional fan base that follows her disrespected the WNBA players.
According to Gino, Clark wasn't prepared for the physical intensity of the league or the seasoned defenders she'd face. Her outspoken personality, he suggested, might even work against her. Criticism wasn't new for Caitlyn. She had been under the microscope since her college days at Iowa, where she dazzled with incredible scoring, unmatched shooting range, and a leadership style that turned heads. By the time she entered the 2024 WNBA draft as the #1 pick, she had already become a household name. But for skeptics like Auriemma, her college success didn't guarantee she would thrive in the pros. Even Diana Taurasi, another basketball legend, echoed the doubts, saying Clark might be in for a reality check when facing seasoned players. Fans were divided. Supporters pointed to her relentless drive and basketball IQ, while critics doubted she could handle the transition. Social media buzzed with debates, with many wondering if Clark could prove her doubters wrong. Caitlyn wasn't about to let the noise distract her. She approached her rookie season with focus and determination, proving that actions speak louder than words. By the end of the season, she had flipped the script. Her performances were electrifying, leading the Indiana Fever with averages that shattered records: 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and over 5 rebounds per game. Clark's court vision and ability to elevate her team stunned everyone. She not only met expectations, but completely surpassed them. Her season was packed with unforgettable moments, from game-winning shots to triple-doubles that had fans and analysts buzzing. Social media couldn't get enough, and highlight reels of her incredible plays flooded timelines. Even her harshest critics began to take notice. Gino Auriemma, once one of her loudest doubters, found himself reevaluating his stance. Known for his strong opinions, Auriemma surprised everyone when he praised Clark's ability to adapt and thrive in the WNBA. He acknowledged her impact on the league, calling her a phenomenon who had changed the conversation around women's basketball. Clark's return to Iowa for a game between the Hawkeyes and Drake Bulldogs was a testament to her influence. The sold-out crowd celebrated her achievements, with fans and former teammates cheering her on. A tribute video highlighted her journey, featuring heartfelt messages from stars like Paige Buchers and Juju Watkins, as well as her college coaches Lisa Bluter and Jan Jensen. It was a full-circle moment for the young star. But the most surprising part? The way critics like Auriemma shifted their tone. What once seemed like a long shot had become undeniable. Clark's rookie season wasn't just a showcase of her skills. It was a defining moment for women's basketball. It forced even seasoned voices to recognize the arrival of a new era. Caitlyn's story is far from over. As she gears up for the next season, the pressure is on to build on her incredible debut. But if her journey so far has taught us anything, it's that she thrives under pressure. Her impact goes beyond statistics, drawing new fans to the game and inspiring the next generation of players. What do you think about Caitlyn Clark's rise to stardom?
Caitlyn Clark's golf debut just made me so upset with the WNBA because the LPGA just did everything that the WNBA should have been doing this season.
Caitlyn Clark made waves in the world of women's sports, but this time, it wasn't on the basketball court. Her impressive debut at an LPGA Pro-Am event created quite a buzz, leaving both fans and critics amazed.
Now, from this event, I have only seen and heard of positive things. I didn't hear one thing about how her fans are toxic. I didn't hear one thing about there being too much spotlight on Caitlyn Clark and it should have maybe been on the professional golfers that are there. We didn't hear any of that.
While the LPGA rolled out the red carpet for her, the WNBA's lack of response was impossible to ignore. What's really happening behind the scenes?
I honestly just got so triggered by Caitlyn Clark's golf debut, and it is no fault of hers that I got upset. It is the fault of the WNBA because the LPGA just did everything.
Caitlyn Clark is now a household name, not only for her WNBA success, but also for her unexpected performance in golf. Her appearance at the LPGA Pro-Am wasn't just a typical celebrity cameo, it turned into a nationally spotlighted event. Fans showed up in droves, pushing for the tournament to be broadcast. And when it finally aired, the LPGA struck gold. They didn't just include Caitlyn, they made her the star of the entire event.
How this Pro-Am event originally wasn't even going to be televised, but there were so many fans who were emailing the organization saying, how can we watch Caitlyn? Can we come to the event? Can you live stream it? All of these things. And it ended up being put on television.
Let's break it down. The LPGA didn't just get lucky with this opportunity, they planned it with precision. They paired Caitlyn with Nelly Korda, the top-ranked golfer in the world. Think about it, one of the biggest stars in women's basketball teaming up with the best golfer around. That's not a coincidence. That's smart marketing. Photos of Caitlyn and Nelly were all over social media, generating a buzz that reached well beyond golf fans. Basketball lovers, golf enthusiasts, and more were instantly hooked.
Fans were really excited about that. There was so much buzz online. She was trending on Twitter, all of the things. And the LPGA was promoting the crap out of this event. And they also did something really smart by pairing her up with their currently #1 golfer in the world.
Meanwhile, the WNBA, the league that shot Caitlyn to stardom, remained completely silent. They didn't tweet, post, or make any mention of her golf success. Fans definitely noticed, and it raised a lot of questions. Why wasn't her own league celebrating such a huge moment? It felt like a major missed opportunity, especially after the LPGA showed just how much star power Caitlyn could bring to another sport.
There are photos of Caitlyn and Nelly literally everywhere. And the LPGA was so smart in doing this because they knew that there would be so many eyeballs on Caitlyn. So if they put their number one golfer, who is currently leading the sport and pushing the sport ahead, if they put her next to Caitlyn for the entire event, that's just great. It's great for Nelly and it's great for everyone else.
It wasn't just the LPGA that jumped on Caitlyn's star power. Media outlets were all over the story too. From SportsCenter to Bleacher Report, everyone covered her every move at the event, from her swings to her interactions with fans. Everything Caitlyn did became headline news. The LPGA took full advantage of the spotlight, promoting not only Caitlyn, but also showcasing their top golfers. It was a win-win situation. In contrast, the WNBA took a different approach. Throughout Caitlyn's rookie season, many fans felt the league wasn't doing enough to promote her, despite her standout performances and the clear Caitlyn Clark effect on viewership numbers. The league seemed hesitant to fully embrace her rising fame. Critics argued that the WNBA was trying too hard to evenly distribute attention, even when it was obvious Caitlyn was the main draw. This reluctance was even more noticeable during the LPGA Pro-Am. While the LPGA leaned into Caitlyn's popularity, the WNBA's silence was glaring. Fans didn't hold back, taking to social media to share their frustrations. Many pointed out that this was exactly what they'd been saying all season. The WNBA wasn't doing enough to leverage Caitlyn's popularity, so why would the WNBA hold back? Some say the league is cautious about focusing too much on one player, fearing it might overshadow others or stir up tension within the league. Others think it's a missed opportunity tied to outdated marketing tactics. Whatever the reason, the difference between the LPGA's strategy. Caitlyn Clark recently shared some footage of her training in Europe, and it's everything we've been looking for. This serves as the ultimate evidence of how a truly respectable league treats its star players.
No matter how the cachet of the WNBA elevates, remember, it could have been even better. You messed it up. You messed it up.
You can truly see the joy on Clark's face. She looks free, incredibly happy, and completely unbothered. Those days of putting up with cheap shots, dirty hits, and all that nonsense are behind her. There's no one poking her in the eye or hip-checking her into the stands.
So now give me the reasons why. She's gone.
And here's the best part. There's no racial tension or scheming against the league's top talent in Europe. The players focus on their game, and Clark can finally concentrate on what she does best, dominating on the court. The contrast is clear, and it's no surprise she's thriving in a league that truly knows how to honor greatness.
I have honestly never seen a company fumble the bag so hard like the WNBA fumbled Caitlyn Clark.
She's playing as if she's finally free from all the nonsense, free from cheap shots, and definitely free from the relentless negativity she faced in the WNBA. It feels like a completely new Caitlyn Clark, and she's clearly enjoying every moment. She's smiling, sinking threes like they're layups, and making no-look passes as if it's just another day in the park.
I think it's a good number. Threes were a little bit, I wouldn't say lower. I'll still take 63, but I want to be more so around 70 if I can. Yeah. 81 mid-range is really, really good.
There's no fear, no hesitation, and no worrying about getting smacked in the face or having someone try to take her out. In Europe, they truly appreciate talent. They love and celebrate her. She's not dodging elbows or dealing with dirty looks anymore. Finally, she's being treated like the superstar she is. It's as if she's escaped a nightmare and landed in a place where basketball is celebrated.
And it sucks that so much of it was riddled with so much drama and so much negativity and so many mishaps.
You know who's really losing it? The WNBA. That's right. The league that thought they could just sit back and let Caitlyn Clark get poked in the eye, body checked and disrespected day after day. Now they're complaining about losing their star, but let's be honest, it's their own fault. They made it unbearable for her. How many times did we watch Clark take a cheap shot while the referees stood by without taking action? And what did the WNBA do about it? Nothing. They allowed it to happen repeatedly.
Like we talked about in our locker room after the game ended, where obviously people were pretty disappointed in the outcome.
Here's the thing. In Europe, they don't have that kind of drama. No Chennedy Carter blindsiding her, no Dejonai Carrington going for her eye. No one is trying to take her down just because she's different. She's not facing players who resent her simply because she's a straight white girl excelling in their league. Over there, it's all about basketball. It's pure, it's clean, and it's a genuine league that respects the game, honors talent, and of course, treats Clark.
And Iowa has Caitlyn Clark, who's become this huge star. She's amazing, and she's getting all this attention, and some nasty press reporters are upset about it.
Did you catch what just happened? Megyn Kelly, yes, that Megyn Kelly, just made some explosive comments about the WNBA, and she's not holding back. She's calling out the league for treating Caitlyn Clark like she's the enemy. Hard to believe, right? So, what exactly did Kelly say that's got the WNBA so stirred up? Her blunt remarks about Caitlyn Clark have lit up the basketball world, sparking a huge reaction across the league. Kelly didn't mince words, and now her comments have everyone on edge. Let's dive into the details everyone's buzzing about.
But she came out to say her own scoring record stands despite Caitlyn Clark beating it, because I guess they didn't have three-pointers when she was playing, which is just ridiculous.
Kelly didn't hold back when she criticized the WNBA for its treatment of Clark. She bluntly stated that what's happening to Clark is really that serious. Can you believe it? This isn't just some offhand comment. Kelly's words carry significant weight.
So she's getting a lot of hate from people like that. Of course, Jamel Hill has weighed in, like a lot of people taking shots at her.
You might be wondering, since when does Megyn Kelly care about basketball? And that's a fair question. She typically doesn't involve herself in sports drama. So why is she speaking out now? The reason is that what's happening to Clark is so outrageous that even Kelly felt compelled to voice her opinion.
She's been in the WNBA for 2 minutes. There's no reason to hate her other than the amount of attention she's getting and her skin color. I mean, would this be happening to a black Caitlyn Clark?
No.
Getting the same amount of attention.
This is where things really heat up. Kelly revealed that some players are actively targeting Clark on the court. She's not referring to just tough defense or regular competition. She's saying that Clark is experiencing outright abuse. And get this, she claims the league is allowing it to happen. How wild is that?
And it's resulted in physical alterations on the court that don't get called as fouls, that the girls then deny were intentional. And Caitlyn Clark always takes the high road. She never, points the finger, but it happened again.
But Kelly didn't stop there. She linked Clark's treatment to larger issues in women's sports. You know how Clark has been in the spotlight a lot recently? Well, Kelly made a shocking statement saying that.
Many black women inside the WNBA are resentful that this white woman came in and is getting all this attention.
That's a serious accusation, and it stirred up strong reactions on all sides. Kelly isn't just referring to fouls and rough play. She's claiming there's a significant amount of racial tension simmering beneath the surface of the WNBA. She believes Clark is right in the thick of it all.
The people weren't going, Jake, because they were homophobic, racists. That's why the other girls resent Caitlyn getting attention, because she's not black.
You might be asking yourself if Kelly is correct about all this. That's the million-dollar question. One thing is certain, though. Her comments are prompting everyone to seriously examine what's really happening in the league. Kelly believes that Clark is turning the sport into something mainstream. And if that's the case, it seems not everyone is pleased about it.
These are the highest ratings in more than 10 years. And it is 100% because of Caitlyn Clark.
Those are regular NBA ratings. Like if you get a couple million people watching an NBA game, you're pretty happy as a network guy. She is the Michael Jordan. Like I know you're not a major basketball
person,
I know. But she is the Michael Jordan of female basketball. Every single player in that league, every single coach, manager, janitor, anyone who has anything to do with that league should be bowing at the altar of this woman. She is transforming the sport into something mainstream, which is what the WNBA was set out to do. And I think it started in 1994 or 1995.
This isn't just some drama. It's a major earthquake rocking the WNBA, and believe me, we're only witnessing the initial tremors, the aftershocks from Kelly's bomb.
I just hope y'all know the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills.
So I don't know if she's complaining or just stating.
Angel Reese faced heavy criticism from experts after her recent complaints about her WNBA salary not being enough to cover her rent. Apparently, she's struggling on her $73,000 salary, claiming it doesn't stretch far enough to pay for her extravagant $8,000 monthly rent, as if she's living paycheck to paycheck.
I am sympathetic to that, but yeah, sports needs villains. I don't have a problem with it. She makes the WNBA more interesting.
Reese, regarded as the league's most pampered player, appears to believe she deserves a salary increase, especially since it's been a while since she found herself in another scandal. And now, it looks like we're back to the same situation again.
Number one complaint this offseason in the WNBA would be the incessant whining about their minimum wage salaries. I mean, who could have possibly...
What exactly are you asking for more money for, Angel? You played less than 10 games this season, while Caitlyn Clark put in the effort through 38. You're attracting a crowd of 7,000 fans per game.
I am sympathetic to that, but yeah, sports needs villains. I don't have a problem with it. She makes the WNBA more interesting.
And somehow, you expect to earn paychecks on the level of LeBron James? Let's be honest, it seems like you're more focused on your image than the game itself. Angel Reese, who calls herself the face of the WNBA, is acting as if life is incredibly unfair to her. She's making a WNBA salary of $73,439, but still has the audacity to complain that it doesn't cover her $8,000 monthly rent.
Now these complaints are coming from the star.
That's right. She's living in a place that costs $96,000 a year, and then wonders why her finances don't make sense. I mean, how out of touch can you be? It's almost like she's forgotten basic math. Spending $8,000 a month isn't just rent, it's a lifestyle choice. The average person in Chicago, where rent is around $2,000, would be laughing in disbelief at these complaints. Most people can't afford to spend their entire paycheck on a luxury apartment and then complain about it. Yet here, we have Angel Reese playing the victim while the rest of the WNBA is out there hustling just to get by. The audacity is off the charts.
He pays them bills, baby. I just hope y'all know the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills. Literally. I'm trying to think of like my rent for where I stay at.
Let's not even dive into her financial choices. With all the money she's making from endorsements, sponsorships, and her podcast, you'd think she would realize that renting an overpriced place isn't the smartest decision. But instead of making wise financial moves, like buying a house or investing, she seems to be spending money faster than most people can earn it. What's her plan exactly? Is she just waiting for a magic fairy to come and solve her problems?
I don't even know what salary does it really. You don't even. Yo, I'm living beyond my means. It's like
it's both hilarious and sad at the same time. She's in a position to be a real role model for her fellow WNBA players, many of whom are genuinely struggling to make a decent living. They don't have million-dollar endorsement deals rolling in. They rely on their league salaries and are barely scraping by. Yet here's Reese complaining about rent as if she isn't surrounded by cash from every angle. It's insulting to everyone in the league who is truly fighting to stay afloat.
Playing this offseason in the WNBA would be the incessant...
This is a place where players can come and get better and be surrounded by an organization that supports you. They're going to have everything they need to be successful. So
the Indiana Fever are about to make a huge move in WNBA history. They're not just aiming for one star player, not even two. They're targeting 10 game-changing free agents who could make them serious title contenders. You might be wondering, how can they afford all that talent? Well, that's where you're mistaken. The Fever have a secret weapon, Kelly Krauskopf. She's back with the team this year, and she's got a bold vision. Kelly's not here to play it safe. She's here to get things done.
I know the free agent situation in the WNBA, but are you in a position where you can add some pieces?
Yes, we are. We're definitely in a position. And I would think that if you are a smart basketball player and you watch the way she plays, you would want to play with her.
With her vast network and resources, Kelly is determined to make Indiana the hottest spot in the WNBA. Her strategy is bold, and it's already catching everyone's attention. You won't believe the plans she has in store to turn the Fever into a true powerhouse. You know that moment in a movie when the two main characters finally join forces, and you just know you're about to see something incredible? That's the vibe right now, because Caitlyn Clark and Kelsey Mitchell are about to team up for the Indiana Fever.
Good thing for women's basketball. I'm playing alongside this kid, so it makes everything, a little bit more dramatic, and like the people are coming out to see this person. So we just do what we can. We embrace it. I'm pretty sure our organization can feed off of it.
Let's take a moment to focus on Kelsey Mitchell. Did you know she averaged 19.2 points per game last season? That's not just impressive. That's all-star caliber. And it's not like she had just a few good nights either. After the Olympic break, Mitchell went on a scoring spree, putting up 20 or more points in 7 straight games. Imagine trying to guard someone that reliable. Now, think about Mitchell teaming up with Caitlyn Clark. We're talking about two of the top shooters in the game coming together. How are defenses supposed to handle that? Clark's college numbers are through the roof, and her knack for setting up her teammates is incredible. With Clark's playmaking skills and Mitchell's scoring, this could be the most exciting backcourt the WNBA has ever seen.
Because Kelsey Mitchell said basketball is a language and you have to get on the same page. Me and Caitlyn like to play fast and up-tempo, and I'm always going to align based on how she's playing and how she's going.
Here's where things get really interesting. Kelsey Mitchell is a free agent right now. The Fever have to re-sign her, right? But at what price? We're talking about a player who has been the heart and soul of the team. Even the Fever's president said they wouldn't be where they are today without her. That kind of praise doesn't come cheap. So, let's break down what it might actually take to keep Mitchell in Indiana. Spoiler alert, it's a hefty sum. We're talking about a Supermax qualifying offer of around $250,000. That's a big investment, but can the Fever really afford to let Mitchell go?
Look, we're going to evaluate everything and have those types of discussions with her.
Here's the thing. It's not only about the money, it's about building a championship caliber team. That's where Caitlyn Clark comes into play. Bringing her on board isn't just about her own skills. It's about how she can make everyone around her better, especially a scorer like Mitchell.
But all signs point to her returning, including her and Clark attending the Pacers and Grizzlies game.
You might be wondering if these two can really work together. Won't they end up competing for shots? But that's the best part. Clark isn't just a scorer. She's a true playmaker, and Mitchell has already proven she can thrive alongside other star guards. This isn't about two players battling for the spotlight. It's about two stars joining forces to create something that's even better than what they could achieve individually.
Kelsey Mitchell has been an all-star, but she had the stage, the bright lights, and everybody could see what kind of bucket getter she is. Plus, Caitlyn draws the defense. Kelsey gets to go one-on-one.
Angel Reese reveals the real reason behind Caitlyn Clark's move to Europe. Angel Reese shuts down rumors, says Caitlyn Clark's exit is a financial move. Angel Reese couldn't resist weighing in on Caitlyn Clark's new European contract. Instead of letting it slide, she stepped in to set the record straight.
What the is that headline all about?
Yeah.
She is the worst basketball player.
In the WNBA, this is pretty unprecedented. Someone so set on stirring the pot. Reese, still tangled up in her own steroid controversy, took a jab at Clark, suggesting players are just in it for the money and using racial issues to gain sympathy.
People talk about Caitlyn getting hate, but someone sat down and spent hours putting together an 8-minute video with interlude clips all to trash Angel. Why?
It's obvious Reese is targeting Clark here. The surprising part, is that Caitlyn has never said anything negative about Reese or any other black player, but today, I can't help but feel that some people don't really deserve the silent treatment.
Blah, blah, blah. From Angel Reese.
It's pretty clear that Caitlyn Clark heading to Europe isn't just about exploring a new scene or picking up a different paycheck. It's more about escaping the toxic circus the WNBA has turned into. On the surface, the WNBA might seem like the perfect fit for a player like her, someone born to dominate, but in reality, it was becoming anything but ideal. Instead of just focusing on her game, she was constantly dodging scandals and skeptical looks like it was all part of the game plan.
Entitled players in the WNBA just can't seem to understand is, you get what you put in, and right now, you are getting exactly what you deserve.
And why? Because she chose to stay quiet while others tried to paint her as some kind of villain. Some of her own fellow athletes, along with a few media voices, went as far as to label her a racist. Honestly, where do they come up with this stuff? But Clark, always level-headed, didn't take the bait. She didn't waste her time responding to these absurd accusations. She just stayed focused on what really matters, basketball. Yet the drama surrounding her only kept growing, like a bad reality show storyline.
So I think it's really just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans.
Then Alyssa Thomas, clearly not interested in keeping the peace, decided to stir things up even more. She publicly blamed Clark for racist comments made by her fans. Yes, you read that correctly. Thomas somehow figured that Clark should be responsible for the words of random people in the stands.
I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base.
Ridiculous, right? This wasn't even about anything Clark did or said. Nope, Thomas seemed more interested in redirecting attention away from her own struggles. She bundled up her frustrations, jealousy, and whatever else was going on inside, wrapped it in an accusation, and tossed it right at Clark.
And then she had a press conference where she cried and everybody's so mean to me. Well, she's continued the stupidity. I mean, she cheered on her teammate as she shoved Caitlyn Clark, knocked Caitlyn Clark in the head, and a bunch of other stupid stuff.
The thing is, Caitlyn didn't have to do anything wrong to end up as a target. The love she was getting from fans, her name popping up in every highlight reel and headline, that alone was enough to spark jealousy in the WNBA. And it wasn't just random trolls online, it was some of the very players she shared the court with. Instead of celebrating her success, a few just couldn't handle it.